I mean, the literal story of how Theta happened is I was in my living room with my wife, and I had headphones in my pocket. They were tangled, kind of like this. I mean, it was just a nightmare. And I looked over my wife, and I told her, I said, somebody has to figure out a way around this, because I'm just tired of this crap. It's just ridiculous. And she looked at me, she's like, yeah? Why don't you do it? So I did. Ultimately, the way this started was I was sick of my own tangled headphones, and I am not going to use an object that doesn't fit the kind of aesthetic design criteria that I use in my day-to-day life. Well, design is really important to me because I think it changes even purely functional objects, how you use them dramatically. It's sort of like when you cook something, the presentation psychologically is going to affect how it tastes to you. Well, that's true with every object that you use. The feel of it, the look of it, especially for an object like this. Because the thing is, we're talking about, these high quality phones, and everybody's got their wonderful smartphones. Well, this is the headphones that go with that. That is that aesthetic world. So you're like, all right, I'm going to spend this crazy amount of money to get an iPhone or a Samsung Galaxy or whatever. And you have this great phone, and then you use a hair clip to hold your earbuds together. It's absolutely ridiculous. And quite frankly, the ones that are on the market, they're generally made out of rubber, and they're generally pretty hideous looking. For me, it was a big deal to make it aesthetically beautiful. The design itself, I wanted to be very basic, very geometric. The circle and the hand. So it feels good in your hand. To wrap it, it's very easy, wrap all the way around. As we were designing this, we realized that we could create this functionality, and it's actually just really cool. I'm just a really big fan of this. So it has a really nice way of just allowing you to put the phone down, rest. Again, no moving parts. You can have the headphones in it while you do it, and you can still use the phone, no problem. For something so simple, this was actually very complicated.
Yeah, it's not a terribly complex part, but then on the other hand, to maintain that shape and also make it manufacturable was a little bit of a challenge.
So from a mechanical standpoint, there's not a lot going on, but you still have to take into account how we're going to hold the phone, how we're going to hold the device, make sure it's not center of gravity is too high. So you have to work all those details out, because you have to match the product you're trying to sell for. It has to look like it was integrated. It has to look like they go together. And then, to keep that intent all the way through is very key.
One thing about manufacturing and how this product is made that's really important to me is that this is all made in the US. And that's important to me because right now, the United States has its economic issues, as we're all aware of. And part of the problem, I think, with that is that we don't have that much sustainable manufacturing. We're a society of managers. We are innovators, which is great because we come up with these new ideas, but then we don't make them here. And so we are unnecessarily beholden to other nations. Now, I'm not a nationalist. It's nothing to do with that. But it's about doing what's right for our country and making sure that we can continue and that our children have the same opportunities that we do. And in order to make sure that they have those opportunities, we need to make sure that we are creating jobs and that we are creating sustainable industries, not just pieces of industries. We make good stuff. It's higher quality here. This is about quality of product. I want this to be good. I want it to be designed exactly according to specs and everybody to love it. And that's more important to me right now than the $1.50. There's a lot of applications for this when it comes to exercising. You can put it on your armband right here. You can use this while you have it in your ears. You just pull it out the other side. Really simple. This is how I use it, and I keep it in my back pocket all the time. So that way, I always have my earbuds with me, and I can always use them. We have a beautiful website that we've created which follows the same aesthetic. We have beautiful packaging that we've created because all of these things are important. Just like that meal you're going to eat. If you're going to get a nice meal, then everything about that meal is good. If you went to a restaurant and you got a steak and they gave you plastic silverware, you would be pissed. So if you get this beautiful object and it comes to you in a crappy package, or you buy it on a crappy website, that's how I feel about it. It has to all go together. The package really shows the product, because I think the product it's the most important thing. I want you to be able to see what you're getting when you buy it. And I want this to be an object for people. Ultimately, it's an object. It is something that human beings use. I think it's beautiful on its own, but beauty is something which is experienced by people. So I want people to be able to show other people how they use it. So our website is going to incorporate a lot of social media. Instagram, Pinterest. I would love if people go on Pinterest and just start taking pictures of how they use Theta. I think it's a beautiful object. I can promise you that there are going to be people that come up with ways to use it and aesthetic positions to put it in and all that kind of stuff that are way cooler than I am doing and way more interesting than anything I would have thought of. I want to partner with the best companies. I'm not going to just sell this anywhere and do whatever. I want to partner with really great companies. Apple pays a lot of attention to design. That would be wonderful. But to not even be specific, where I want to go with Theta is to continue to develop this so it continues to be a part of our lives. Right now, it is fitting the current earbuds that we all use, the current phones we all use. Well, that's going to change. We are what we are. We're not going to dramatically change as human beings, but the objects will, and how we use them will. So I want Theta to change with that. Right now, we have the black and white version. I'll just give you a little, we have other ideas. We have other things that we might consider. I want people to not have tangled headphones anymore. I want that to just stop existing and that frustration to be gone, because it's really frustrating. I mean, ask anybody about it and you can see their eyes start to twitch and they can remember the last time they did it. It's something that almost everybody experiences at some point. I would love to have people participate in the aesthetic of this. This is coming from, I think, an aesthetic of the time, but aesthetics themselves also change. I would love to get some designers involved. Vera Wang, Philip Stark, stuff like that. Create your own version of it. I think that would be fantastic, because I have done what I can to make this a wonderful product, and now I want the world to continue to use it and to make it into their own.